take your time out to see a special good Tuesday morning to one and all. Welcome to the first day of April 2025. Something about April 1st, right? So folks don't put a lot of attention into that for some reason or the other. I'm not sure. Anyway, let me say good morning to those of you who are tuned into Classic Radio. Those of you in GBN TV, good morning to you once again. Those of you via social media platforms, good morning, and welcome. It's Opposition Tuesday here on the program today. And of course, representing the opposition here on To The Point this morning, we have, of course, Mr. Roland Bhola with us this morning. He's actually the General Secretary of the new National Party. That's the opposition party here in Grenada. Let's go over and say good morning to Mr. Bhola. Hope all is well in terms of connection-wise this morning. Mr. Bhola, good morning, and how are you, sir? Good morning. I think for some reason your mic is muted, so you may have to unmute your mic so that I can hear you. All right. Hope you have some assistance there that can help you resolve that. You have a muted mic there. Hello, folks, as we wait on Mr. Bhola to get, of course, his system, sorted out. So once again, good morning to those of you who are, of course, driving along on the nation's roads. Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. Finally, I've been clicking on it, and for whatever reason, I don't know, my fingers probably is a little bit too smooth this morning or something. He wasn't unmuting, but sometimes these gadgets, they behave in their own way. Thank you very much. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you to your listening public, and I hope that this program will at least allow them to make some sort of judgment at the end of the day. All that right. Is going to fit not just them, but Grenada, Carrick, Peak Martinique.
All right, sir. And you're certainly welcome. Hey, folks, as I mentioned, of course, Mr. Bhola is us this morning. He's the General Secretary of the new National Party. Mr. Bhola, let's get into the conversation this morning as we get things rolling up this morning. I want to keep the conversation based a whole lot on the new National Party for some reason or the other. I'm feeling in that particular way of directing my questions. Tell us, for starts, how are things within the new National Party? Latter part of 2024, you had of course, your convention and so forth. A new political leader, of course, is now in the realm. How have things been going within the new National Party as it stands now? And we into what, the fourth month of the year and so forth? That's how things are going.
So it's like just a little over 4 months since the convention. And of course, one do not want to always go back into what had happened before. But we know there were a lot of little upheavals. People felt differently, of course, which was their right. Whoever felt that they were in agreement with the party's strategy, who thought that the strategy was wrong. And of course, that's what democracy is all about, allowing people to air their views freely and to give their opinions openly. But whatever it was, we've gone past that. We have had the the convention, and a new leader was elected, and it was as though it started off high-speed racing, and it's still that way up until today. All levers were pulled, and we started off by doing a number of different things. The political work is always important, and so heavy emphasis is being placed on that, meaning reaching out there, talking to people, getting their views, understanding, and selling ourselves, our policy, our values as a party. But secondly, we are internally doing a lot of restructuring. And I want to explain that a little bit because people may tend to think that we are changing policies and so. Absolutely not. The vision of the party still remains the same. The decision of putting country first and party second still remains our mantra. Everything we do, everything we attempt to do, everything we attempt to restructure, it's only to give us a better avenue in which we can do the things that are necessary to achieve the goals that we have set. So, for example, at our very second, the first executive meeting of the new executive was more one of a meet and greet, where persons who did not make it back to the executive or the national executive were invited to come along, and the new ones, so that there would have been an opportunity that people could meet and get to speak to each other and, have a little ice-breaking session, excuse me, if we can call it that. By the second meeting, which was about 2 weeks after, the political leader was able to unveil a strategic plan for the year 2025 of all of the things that we hope to achieve and what we were going to do. What are the roles that everyone will have to play, and how we are going to manage through the year to achieve those goals. And since then, we have been working. Some 20 plus committees have been set up to do different aspects of that strategic plan. And they are all working. As a matter of fact, as soon as I'm out of this engagement with you on GBN, I will be attending one of the committee meetings, that is of the disciplinary committee, of which I'm a member. Fortunately or unfortunately so for me, because I hold a position as General Secretary, I find myself in about 8 or 10 of these committees, or I was placed, I shouldn't say I find myself, in those committees, and being the chairperson of about 4. So it has been a lot of work. It has been going good. I think I have been able to see a renewed spirit. People are feeling much more encouraged. And I want to point out here quickly, though, that what is happening now is nothing short of what we have always attempted to do previously. So with our previous leader, yes, all of those things were mentioned. But with the new leader, we seem to have a greater energy and urgency in what we do. She's definitely a different taskmaster to our previous leader. She travels along a similar path where we, like I say, the values of the party, putting people first, and all those things remain at the hem. But in terms of getting the work done, she has that ability to motivate and to push and to guide and to encourage people much more. So from where I sit, I believe it's looking good. It feels good. And I just hope that we can continue along that pathway, and we can definitely bring first and foremost the necessary goods that the people wish to see from us as a party, unitedly so. And secondly, we'll be able to achieve most of the goals that we have set ourselves for 2025 and to continue beyond that.
You spoke a whole lot about, of course, the momentum that's been built right now. And I'm assuming momentum has been built. And of course, are you getting traction from the momentum that has been built a whole lot from from a party standpoint? And what is really driving that particular momentum and the traction that you perceive that is you're getting? What is causing that, sir?
Well, we have not really measured, so I cannot give you in terms of percentage or in figures, but definitely momentum is building. We can feel it by the comments that we receive, by the commendation that we get when we are out in the field, and of course by the spirit of the people that are with us. We can see that we are making traction. However, we do not want to misread or misinterpret, because I know, one, the newness of the leader, in terms of she has never been at that level of leadership before. She has always been a leader in her own right, and as she continues to sell herself, and as people get to know Emmeline Pierre, the opposition leader, officially so, and of course the leader of the new National Party, they tend to connect with her. There are some people, and there have been some areas where people felt that she's not appealing enough. And of course, one is entitled to their opinion. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as we oftentimes say. And from what we are seeing is that gradually, yes, people are gravitating towards her, and as a result, towards the party. We have had in the last, we've just started the 4th month, so 3 months plus, we have had in excess, when last I checked, of 60 new registrants as party members. We continue to be on a party drive, and that is also an area where we have a committee headed by the Deputy General Secretary, Sister the Honorable Skeeter Lewis. And so, yes, from all of those little things that are happening and piling up on each other, and one is seeing growth, and one is seeing movement, and one, as an NNP, is happy of the direction we're going. Yes, we'd like the momentum to be quicker. Yes, we'd like to build a greater stability. Yes, we'd like to have more people liking and appreciating and wanting to follow the political leader. But sometimes things take time, which is not a luxury for us as a party. Time is not a luxury, but you need time for growth, development, and transformation. And so We are taking it in good strides. We are trying to build on what we already have. We're trying to encourage, and we are being encouraged by the momentum and traction that we are seeing.
Staying connected to the people is pivotal for any political organization. How is the new National Party, as it is now, staying connected with the people? And who are going through their daily lives, of course, in the trial of Grenada Carriacou and Petit Martinique. How is the new National Party staying connected to people?
Several ways, GT. We have several ways. Outside of all of our committees that are looking at different stratas of the party, the society, and the people, bringing in information so we can make the right decisions, that we can speak on the issues that matters most to the people. We are out there. We are doing house-to-house visits. We are doing telephone conversations with people. We are encouraging our caretakers and parliamentary reps every day to do more and more, to reach out to people more and more. We are empathizing with the situation as it is now. We know cost of living is a really tremendously difficult issue that the people have to deal with, the healthcare system and so. And we are saying all of these may not be new issues or problems. But what we have seen in the past 2 years and months is that in some of these instances, the situation has moved from bad to worse. Things are not moving in an improvement direction, but there continue to be the decadence of what was met. And so we call on government in areas where we believe they can do more than they are doing, or where they are not doing anything to do something. We continue to talk to people and encourage them to make changes in their own lives. Because it is not a situation where government, whichever it is, whether it's NDC, NNP, GOP, whoever is in office, it's not a situation where they can do all things for all people. And we fully understand that. NNP had been in government for many years, and we know NDC would never be able at any point in time to do everything for everybody. So one of the things that we do as a party is that when we reach out there, when we speak to people, we sometimes ask them to look within. What can you do for yourself? What can you change about the lifestyle you're living? You're in a different era. Maybe the things that was once very easy for you to do is no longer that easy. And maybe you have to cut and contrive. Maybe as a man who has a family of 4 or 5 and has children in school, and of course you were doing a job that was paying you a certain sum, and things have changed, structural adjustment, the economy is different. Now you are getting less money at the end of the month, the fortnight of the week, however it is. Or maybe both yourself and your wife was employed at one time, and now only one in the family is employed. So you have to be different. Whereas before, when things were better and money was flowing in a different way, you probably were able to sit out by the bar on a Friday evening when you get paid with the guys and run a couple of rounds of beers or Guinness or whatever you may have been drinking, because that was a hobby. You have to see now how you can do probably half of that, or in some instances none of that. It's how you prioritize. It's what you take as priority for you first and foremost as an individual and a family, and then our country in an extended way, the government have to cut and contract through and probably prioritize differently and spend money in the areas where it will be most impactful for the country, one, and for the people, secondly. And so we are staying in touch with people through these programs by exposing our own opinions, by saying the things that we believe should be different, and by also telling people some of the plans that we have. We can't say as a party that we have everything down pat, that all problems that Grenada have, we are now in a position, if you elect us into government, to immediately and instantly solve. No. But we do believe that we have some ideas, and if they are practiced, that they can allow people to thrive a little better and to bring some easiness, some easement in their daily lives.
The political leader of the New National Party, of course, and other members of the political party has been very visible lately. What are those responses that you've been getting? What the responses have been like towards her? And of course, what has been that feedback you've been getting from the public in terms of the visibility of the political leader and other members of the New National Party? How has that feedback been for?
The feedback has been very encouraging, GT. I am not at liberty to go into every detail and talk about everything that people say. The reason for us being out there was not meant to just share all of what we have received in terms of information or data, as we sometimes put it, to the public like that. But they have definitely been an encouraging voice, a welcoming voice from the people. Some are very bold and open to say that they are much happier now, that they believe that we are going into a direction that they long hope that the party would have been going in that direction. There are others that are still a little bit optimistic. They welcome the new political leader, but they have their doubts, and rightfully so, that they're prepared to look on still. But by and large, the feedback that we have been receiving has been very, very encouraging and has informed us as a party and as a unit, as a group, on certain decisions that we must make, certain changes that we must make to our policies, whatever and however small it may be, because now you're getting reactions and you are interacting with more people and you're getting a view from them, which puts you in a position to align your policies and values and goals and intentions with that of what the people want. And it's still very early days. We have not touched the entire country yet. We have not been to every house yet. We have not visited every village yet. We have not spoken to every Grenadian. Some of them are objectives that we may achieve, others we may not. For example, like wanting to talk to every Grenadian is an objective that we have. We may not meet it, but we're working towards it. So as we go deeper into the dialogue with the people, as we have deeper interactions, as we visit more communities, both in the rural and the urban areas, as we talk to the professionals, as we speak to civil society and everyone else, because we are not out there only to meet and greet a person that promote themselves as an NNP or is registered as an NNP member. We are there to meet all Grenadians, because one of the mantra of the New National Party is to create a better Grenada for all. Of course, our supporters, our people who are with us every day, we'll have to carve a way out to satisfy them as well. But we want to put a Grenada for all Grenadians, where equity across the board can be seen. And of course, the argument could be made, well, you all had a chance already, and look, all you did this, all you did that. So sure, we accept those criticism. We know we have not always been right, and we continue to say that. NNP has made mistakes, some of them severe, but we have learned from those mistakes. We have learned from our failures. And as they say, success is not final, failure is not fatal. When you fail, you go back to the drawing board, you see where you made mistakes, what did you do not to correct, or what did you do that was wrong, where did you make a bad turn, and you try to correct it. And over the last 2 years plus, NNP has been doing that, and we are now recognizing that we can, even with the same objectives, we can track a different path. We had different pathway to get and to achieve those objectives, with the Grenadian people at the forefront all of the time, and creating an environment where all Grenadians who are willing to work and to be part of a society where there can be equity and equal opportunity for all.
All right, Mr. Bhola, we due for a break. Let's take that break. When we come back, we continue the conversation. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. We will be right back after the break. Don't touch it out.
Get ready, Grenada. The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th, so don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
Hey, GBN family, we've got a brand new home on Facebook and you need to be there. Follow us now on Facebook at Grenada Broadcasting Network -GBN. Stay updated with the latest news, sports, entertainment, and everything Grenada. Don't miss out. Like, follow, and share. Grenada Broadcasting Network. Stay informed. Stay ahead. First with the news. Fast with the updates.
Hey everyone, here is an invitation to join me this and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on GBN Television 711 K105 FM, our Facebook page and YouTube channel for Kaiso Talk. Meet the Kaisonians, hear their stories, feel the vibes. Kaiso Talk, Wednesdays 8:30 p.m. Compliments for Grenville Credit Union.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport TV, it is the Caribbean's newest road running event with a unique twist, famous landmarks, ocean and eco activities. St. Lucia has it all. What are the don'ts when it comes to posting on social media? Next gen chefs, comfy accommodation. It's all next on this station.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's to the point here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. It's Opposition Tuesday here on the program this morning. And representing the opposition here, we have, of course, Mr. Roland Bhola with us this morning, the General Secretary of the new National Party. Mr. Bhola, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's move on with the conversation a wee bit. I want to hear from your perspective, sir. How is important it is for young people to be engaged in the political process right now in Grenada? Sometimes we get the impression that we hear from individuals that young people is in a laid-back, position when it comes to, what's going on politically and the process of politics in Grenada. How do you feel? Of course, you being an individual who's been around, been there, done that, as some folks will say. Tell us, how do you feel about, young people being more engaged in the political process here in Grenada, sir?
Well, it's only part of the question that you raised that is true. It's not all young people. There are some young people, believe it or not, that are engaging themselves. We love to see a lot more young people get involved at different level. And when we say get involved, sometimes the notion is that everybody must be out there waving a green flag, and that's not really what we're talking about. We have been fortunate as a party that since after our national convention, we have been able successfully to host our women's convention, and so now have a new executive in place for the women who are part and parcel of the party, as well as our youth convention. And the team of young people that has been elected to control the movement and to try to engage and harness the young people of this country. And of course, with a political intent in mind, wanting them to be part and parcel of the new National Party, has been very, very encouraging. And so from all of the feedbacks that we have been having, I want to believe that it is absolutely necessary and very important for more young people to lend their voice to the change that they want to see. We oftentimes hear the complaints. Well, this is not done for young people, that isn't done, we need this, we need that. And when you examine it, one gets the impression, and probably you may be wrong with your impression, we may be wrong with our impression, but one gets an impression that from certain quarters, some young people are just there waiting and hoping, as in the days when manna fell from heaven, for the good things to just fall in their hand. There are a lot of others that are showing you a different kind of aspiration, that they have a dream, that they want to move forward, and that they are prepared to work for what they want, and to be part of a system that can create the enabling environment and an atmosphere for them and their other brothers and sisters to thrive and to get what they want out of this life and out of this country. Separate and apart from just our youth arm, which is more the political side of things, we have started as a party a professional youth group. not headed by any one of us as seniors, not the political leader, not myself, not any of the senior politicians in the party, but by the young people themselves. And they have been making great traction. They have been able to meet sometimes virtually, sometimes in an area where they have the leads and drinks as professionals. And I'm talking like lawyers, doctors, business people from different walks of life, and to be able to exchange ideas, to be able to bounce against each other some of the issues socially, economically, and otherwise that are happening in our country. And it's very encouraging to get the responses that they give to understand how they're thinking and what direction they're heading. And that is separate and apart. So you don't have to actually and officially be a member of the NNP to be part of this professional young people. Similar to the women, they have a professional women's group. So outside of those who are president and chairperson and secretary and what have you, of the women's group, there is a professional women group headed by Dr. Modest and Dr. Mayana Charles, where they bring sometimes hundreds. I mean, when you go on if you go on to some of the engagements, very informal sometimes they are much more formal and may have particular issues that they want to discuss at that time. But some of the more informal ones, you are amazed as to what you can gather from that. So I'm saying that the young people's involvement, absolutely necessary. The young people are the present and the future. Yes, we may be the ones guiding the process at this time, but they are definitely going to take it over. They are definitely involved in such a way. So the more of them that walk alongside with us as equal partners, the more experience is gained. So as soon as we are out of the way, whether we are being pushed or we walk quietly, they are the ones that are going to be in charge and taking charge of what needs to be done and continuing to move this country forward. And I dare say that with those that are involved now, I have a good feeling about the future. If much more can get involved and be part of something, like I say, you don't have to go on a platform and speak. You don't have to wear green every day. But of course, you can get involved with your ideas. You can be part of the conversation and be creating a lot of avenues for them to be part of the conversation. Because pretty soon there's an activity called Youth Pulse that will be coming up. I don't have all of the details on it yet, but I can tell you that there's a lot of in-depth planning taking place behind the scenes. These are all avenues that has been opened up to the young people so that they can come and express themselves. On the block chat, when we go around as members of the New National Party, when the caretakers go around, they listen and they take note and they come back and we discuss in the engine room. This is what I picked up on the blog. This is what young people are saying. Maybe we have to examine it deeper and what can we do? If we were in government, how would we deal with this situation? So their voices are as important as any other voice at this time and probably have always been through the passage of time.
You spoke a lot about, you just mentioned something that tickled my fancy a wee bit and asked you about it. Although you say you have limited information in reference to it. The Youth Pulse and the other convention coming, I think there's a main convention and also coming up with that the New National Party is putting on. Tell us how these particular events are shaping the party's direction, sir. Tell us a wee bit about that.
Okay. So as a party, having been around for 40 years, of course, there are some things that you learn, some of them nice and easy, some the hard way. And what we have been seeing, looking at both youth and men, is that there have not been that kind of forceful engagement on the part of the party, one, but secondly, the individuals themselves, the men and of course the youth, have not always shown a great desire to want to participate, to want to be part of. So we recognize that we have to create probably some more avenues, open up some more windows and doors in the house so that people can step in. So one, men's convention. It is something in the making, something that we're planning, something that we start working on already on the ground. We want to re-engage, one, some of the men who, for whatever reason, had an interest and used to participate, but now has fell out in grace, not so interested about the politics anymore. So we want to engage them and find out from them what are your reasons. Are there good enough reasons to keep you out? or do you want to be re-engaged and be part again? But secondly, there are some men who have and has shown at the community level, at the family level, within the church, within some civil organization in the community or so, that they have leadership potential, that they are good decision makers. They can help to transit from one position to the next. They can deal with difficult situations and conflict resolution and so. We want to engage these kind of men as well and say, look, we want you to be part of this grouping and this organization because we believe you have a very, very necessary contribution to make and to help shape the next generation. There are also some men who are just there and probably longing to have some kind of brotherhood, some kind of friendship, some sort of a gathering, some organization where they can go and share their ideas. And so through the men's league or the men's organization, we can do that. So first and foremost at the moment, we have planned it, but we are working at the constituency level first and foremost to engage the men, to encourage the men, and then we are going to do a convention at the end of the day. Hopefully by the beginning of the second half of the year, we're looking at that kind of time, which would give us enough time to have had sufficient engagement on the ground at the village level, and then to propose that we do a convention as something national and give them the forum where they can express themselves, but also where they can listen and learn from people who have been in leadership position, be it men or women. So it's not really a fight for gender equality or anything like that. It is just trying to encourage more for our men. And look at it. Whether it is in the academics or some of the professional fields, like 25 years ago, probably the majority of persons who were into the medical field as doctors was men. And probably 25 years may not be the right amount of time I give it. Leaders were basically men, magistrates and all those professions. But we have seen from the last 25 years coming forward that more and more of these professions are taken up by women. Teaching. A teacher most of the time used to be a man. You expect it. These days, it is about 9 to 1 in the school in terms of the ratio. For every 10 teachers you count, might be 9 females. And these are not statistics that I have. I mean, it's just observation, and I'm putting my own percentage to it. So don't quote me and say, "Oh, Mr. Bhola telling lies." I checked it the last time, and he had 3 men to every 10 women. I'm just saying that the women are outnumbering the men in most of the professional areas: journalism, banking, teaching, even police officers. We are seeing more and more. And this is not a criticism. I want people to understand that. I am not criticizing the fact that more and more female, more and more women are getting involved in those professions, even in construction, tiling, and all of those things. It is good to see that they are expanding, women are expanding their views and their ability and showing that they too have ideas and abilities. Very good. But what happens to the men? They are not competing. They are not there side by side as a partner to the women. It's as though we are getting extinct. So we are trying from our end to revive that. Similar to the youth. While we have an active and operational youth arm that does a number of things, recently they had some cultural activity and all-down competition and so in one of the constituencies in St. Andrews, and bringing youth together. And so we want to create more avenues. We want to give the youth a chance. Come and express yourself. Show what you can do. Speak. Have a bit of culture you want to share, but at the same time, to learn from people who have been there, who have done that, from professionals. Like we'll bring professional men to talk to the men, to the youth, and things like that. So it's greater engagement, but at the same time, as a party, we must see what can we garner? What can we garner from these engagements? What can we take from them? How can we better prepare our plans and our policies so at the end of the day, we getting into government, we would have a smooth transition and be able to improve on what we need there, or to introduce new policies and programs that can serve more of the people of the country.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bhola. We drew for a break. Once again, let's take it. When we come back, we continue the conversation. Stay with us here, Classic Radio, GBN TV. It's to the point here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. We coming right back. Don't touch your dial.
Tracksuit, water bottle, sneakers. It's time. Let's get ready to join us on the road this year for Quad Bank's annual Pump It Up Family Fun Walk. Tell your family and friends, and let's get moving towards a healthier lifestyle. Carry a coup. Come out in your numbers on Sunday, April 6th from 4 p.m. as we pump it up from Alexis Food Store's car park to the Hillsborough Tennis Court. On Sunday, May 4th, the action is on the mainland. We're hitting the road at 4 p.m. from Monrouge Playing Field to the Kirani James Athletics Stadium. Registration ends on May 2nd or while stocks last. So get your packages today. Individual packages cost $20. For groups of 3 or more, packages cost $15 each. Proceeds go towards the Princess Royal Hospital in Carriacou. Visit our website for more details. See you on the road for
Welcome home.
Grenada, get ready for the most anticipated kids event on Saturday, 19th April, Easter Saturday.
They not like us.
It's the Easter Kids Extravaganza.
Easter Kids Extravaganza.
Monrouge Playing Field, 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy rides, slides, obstacle courses, rock climb, bouncy castle, go-kart, and much, much more.
Mom, I love this.
Then from 6 p.m. we move stateside for special performances. Come see the mind-blowing illusions and mesmerizing dancers from the overseas acts. Soca performances from Guana, Shekwan, Black Barbie, and Young Man. Admission kids only $5, adults $10. Parents, guardians, get the kids ready. Easter Saturday, Monrouge Playing Field. Something no kid wanna miss. It's the Easter Kids Extravaganza.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's to the point here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. Let me say welcome back to Mr. Roland Bhola with us this morning here on the program. Mr. Bhola, welcome back once again. Mr. Bhola, my next question goes out is about it. You know, there's been lots happening politically in the country, sir. What are some of the issues, you know, the New National Party, of course, is paying close attention to when it comes to those issues that are happening on Ireland right now?
Just to name a few, there are several things that the New National Party feels deeply hurt or not very satisfied with. So, for example, one, the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and to a lesser extent, those in the southern tip of the island. Since Hurricane Beryl, we do not at all feel that the government has done sufficient. I'm not going to say they did nothing. They did. But probably some of what they did never reached the most needed people, the people who needed to be touched the most. You still have quite an amount. One expects, sometimes when you say that, people tell you, well, you're being unreasonable, don't expect everything to happen overnight. No, I am not, and I don't think the New National Party has any expectation. But your intentions must be made very clear. One must see you doing what is necessary, bit by bit, yes, day by day, slowly, but we should be at a much advanced stage in terms of recovery and rebuilding in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. So that is one of the things that the New National Party continue to talk about, continue to raise awareness about, continue to do what we can in whatever ways, because immediately after the hurricane, one may have known, or the people I think believe and knows, that the New National Party did set up a soup kitchen where for many of those who had lost not just the roof in some places, but the entire house, and were either housed in a public building, a school or something like that, and probably didn't have all of the facilities to cook a hot meal on a daily basis, were able to get a hot soup or something to eat that was being prepared by members of the New National Party and shared. Yes, well, the days for that is over. The New National Party had provided some potable toilets and so in the immediate aftermath of the hurricane and so, and a few bits and pieces of material to assist some people to mend their house and so forth. So we are very, very touched and still very concerned about the pace at which things are moving in terms of recovery, repair, and bringing people back to some semblance or some means of saying, well, we are normalizing our situation. We do not expect everything to go back to normal the way life was before burial, but we believe with the kind of monies that the government has inherited, specifically the CRIF money, $118 million, we are not happy. There is not enough accountability for where these monies went and how they were spent and how did the people who was most affected by burial benefited from it. So that's one. We are also very concerned about the health situation, and may I say here very early before my critics jump on me, and whether I say it or not, they may jump, that doesn't matter anyway. Health has never been perfect in Grenada. The new National Party was there, and we have made great improvements. We've done a number of things. We have done a number of village or community health centers, rebuild, repair, brought in machinery even to the General Hospital. It was the new National Party that built that new hospital, built and completed a second phase, brought in machinery and so. We are not in any way saying that overnight the NDC was supposed to transform. Although they said it, we didn't expect a total transformation within the last 2.5 plus years. But what we expected is to see greater intent on the part of the government, showing that, look, this is a promise we have made, this is something that is necessary and needed, and here is what we are doing. This is where we expect to be over time. But this is where we are starting, and here is the progress report. Nothing like that. In fact, the government themselves had accepted that health had not moved forward in any way. If anything, or any movement, it went backward. It has deteriorated. Basic medicine, people cannot get at the hospital. This is a reality. This is not a make-up story. It's not a fabrication of what is happening. People are telling you, look, I'm in the hospital and I'm being given a prescription to go purchase my medication. And you know, you feel sad for one, the people, some of them are struggling to get the money, but secondly, for the nurses who sometimes, as we have been told, when that patient is leaving, they ask them kindly, can you leave the medication? Because there are others who are taking similar medication like you who cannot afford to buy. So they too are doing, and they're working under duress and stress and with a lot of problems. So we're very concerned about that as a party and hope. And when we talk about it, it's not because we want to criticize the government. Yes, the political platform is a place where you expound on a lot of things, and the tone and the level of your voice may be different, and it may sound harsh and as though you're criticizing. But we're saying, look, you made a promise. Let's do something that is meaningful and is impactful on the present situation. You look at agriculture, very similarly. I am happy. I've just heard that the government intends to get 30 plus or 40,000 plants, tissue cultured plants coming out of Colombia pretty soon. A lot of coconuts and bananas and pineapples and so. I am happy for that. But where is the plan of how do we go forward with it? Do we bring it and acclimatize it in Maribo and not pay any attention to the workers, not provide them with the necessary chemicals and mediums to acclimatize the plants, and so 50% of it die? Do we then choose only our friends to distribute to, or do we look for the farmers that are really serious and do the necessary research in terms of the soil type and so, and allow them to get plants of what is best for them? I understand there is an intention to bring even more, and that is good. But it shows there that you have an intent. But that intent must be followed up by the actions to show, look, we are serious about this thing. We are serious about growing more banana. We are serious. I mean, I have been making calls for the increase in our coconut cultivation since after Hurricane Ivan. We have tried. We have gotten some plants from Mexico. some 5,000 or something like that. We were expecting 10,000, which FAO and others facilitated and helped us to get. The arrangement was made, 5,000 came in. The second 5,000 were never brought in for whatever reason. I was out of the ministry by then, so I'm not sure. But the point I'm making is that these areas that we are concerned about, youth unemployment, there has always been youth unemployment. NNP was able to bring it down to less than 14%. Where are we now? You are looking at programs like the Imani, which has been criticized quite a lot, but has made impact in the lives of a lot of people, have caused a lot of people to be from an unemployed position to a position of permanent employment. Going through the Imani, they were able to get permanent employment, whether in the private or public sector. The point is, you have just cut that budget by over $8 million. Are you serious about dealing with the real problems of the country? And these are the questions that the opposition is asking. Yes, we get fight back. We get goons and cronies of the government saying you were there and what you did. And yes, that's okay. That's the politicking. But the real issue is what affects the people. And you and I know that if as government, you show no intent to do nothing, cost of living. The government go about and share out $100 bill to every Grenadian and say, I know that turkey price went up in the shop recently from 5 something to 8 something. I know that this price went up. I know that it is more difficult to buy that now. So here's $100. No, and one doesn't expect that from the government. But the government must show some intent. Maybe they can zero rate some other items that has been vetted before. So you say 15% is off, so the price will go down. Maybe they can initiate conversation with our OECS or Caribbean nations and say, look, this is the effect that it's having in Grenada. I don't know how much it's affecting you as Barbados or as St. Lucia or as Trinidad or Jamaica. But maybe there are some things like we can group together and buy in bulk and get a better price. Get a better shipping price. Whatever the case may be, we are saying show some intent. Let us know you are trying. Sometimes you may fail. NNPA tried a lot of things and did not have success in it. But you showed intent. Your intention is to do better by the people. Try and see how you can make. When we had at some point in time in our while we were in government, increasing a lot of prices, things like milk and so. What did the government do? Place marketing board in charge, came up with some money, have them bring in milk. Whether there were any duties or charges, what we could have taken out, we did to cause the price of milk to be lower. But in some instances, provided milk for a certain sector of the population, nursing mothers, homes that had little children still going to kindergarten and preschool and so. So everybody didn't get milk. I didn't get milk from my household because probably I didn't need, based on the way they categorize it. Should I say that everything went correctly? No. We always find one or two people who decide to go outside of what the range of the law dictates. But you showed intent that you wanted to help. You wanted to create an avenue where some of the people who would have been pushed off by virtue of price and so can still have an opportunity to provide the necessary nutritional meal for themselves and their children. So these are just some of the things. I mean, there are a lot more, but I think those 4 are probably at the top of the list. We are also very concerned, I should say that before I close on that, about governmental control and operations, the way in which the public service is being managed, the way in which the taxpayers' monies are being used and spent. And then when you have a situation where for just one ministry, there has been an overspending, not a total spending, an overspending in excess of $2 million for international travel and fete and so. You have to be very concerned. You have to ask yourself why. Not 500, not 5,000, not 500,000, but 2 points plus $1 million overspending. So you have spent all of what was provided for you and budgeted for you and was able to find money within the government to overspend. And that's just one ministry. And if you do a study of all of the ministries, you would be shocked at the kind of overspending just for international travel, for groups of people to travel. And has hardly brought back or reported anything of significance for the first-class travel and so forth. So we too are concerned. We are taking note. We are investigating, and of course, at the right time, we're going to expose what we have found out once we found it to be credible and reliable information to the public.
All right. Of course, in this segment, of course, we're going to invite our listeners and viewers, if they do have a question or two to ask Mr. Bhola, feel free to do it in this segment. Mr. Bhola, before we go to the telephone lines and ask a question, tell me, what would you like to share with your supporters out there of the new National Party? In the event for those there, those who are undecided, about the political direction of the country right now. As the General Secretary of the new National Party, what would you like to share with your supporters out there? As I mentioned, those who are still undecided about the political direction of the country. What would you like to share with them this morning before we take those calls? 435-2041, that's the number.
Well, I want to say to them, keep the hope. All is not yet lost. Yes, we are in a dark place as a country. Politically speaking, a lot more is desired, not just of the government, but also of the opposition. As an opposition, we have to show the people that we have good intentions, that we mean what we say, that they can get into that contract with us, that we would have to keep our side of the bargain and that we wouldn't break. So keep hope alive. Some of you may have been supporters of the NNP, and for the last election, you felt the NNP weren't going in the direction that you wanted them to be, and so you have switched, you have voted another side, you may have voted the ruling party now, and you are also now you're not unsatisfied with the way and the manner in which things are going, the way they are operating. Come home. The NNP house is always open. We welcome you. We want your support. We need your support. We're going to accept you. We have a new political leader who's a hard worker. I want to underline hard and put it in capital letters. Very strategic in the way she thinks. A very honest and honorable lady. And she's prepared to speak to anyone at any time. You give a call, you do what? She will hear your problem. I'm not saying she can fix every problem. I'm not saying that she's going to transform Grenada into a botanical gardens overnight. But I believe if given the opportunity, we can see a better way of life in Grenada. We will see opportunities for more people and equity across the board where all who is interested can strive and survive. So come on board. Keep your hope alive. All
right. Thank you, Mr. Bhola. Let's go to the phone lines. And, of course, we have some folks who are on hold already. And, of course, let's get your contribution. Callers, for time purposes, I beg of you to keep your contribution as to the point and as short as possible. Let's go to our first caller. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're live.
Good morning, Mr. Bhola.
Good morning to you, sir.
My friend, it's always a pleasure to see you. Yeah, Mr.
Thank
Bhola, you speak about the youth, right? I will ask you to go back to Senator Francis because she explained everything about the deduction with the money, because 300 Imani was made permanent, so we don't expect to get the same money. Mr. Bhola, my question to you now is that you guys saw the rally that NDC had, right? You see the turnout with the youth, and what does that say to the NNP organization? My second question, I've been speaking to people who is NNP. I have a lot of NNP friends. And they say that you having Miss Pierre now as leader and using the thing woman power. They think Miss Pierre is just keep Michelle way in a skirt right now. You understand? They don't see no difference with policy. The policy and all these things and them is the same repeat NNP. They saw. And my last question to you now. Peter David was on MTV the other day, and they asked him about a third party. And he made a statement that basically, I can't quote him quote for quote, but in effect, he was saying that NNP right now is on life support. So having a third party will be an alternative in the next election. How do you speak to that?
Thank you, caller.
Have a good day, Mr. Bhola.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Well, your first question is that I did not see the NDC rallies. Could you tell me that we saw it? I did not see. I have never seen any photos of it. I've only heard people talking about the crowd and making a lot of statements of it. So it doesn't affect me in any way. NDC has supporters, so if we think NDC is not going to get people in their rallies, then we are dreaming. Secondly, I don't know what explanation that could be, because the Imani is an ongoing thing. There are different batches from and since this government came into office, they have never taken a new batch. So it tells me if you have made 300 people from the Imani permanent, that's excellent. I don't know where those figures come from. I've never heard about it before. But as you say, if it is the truth, that's excellent. But what about the other thousands of young people that are out there? Shouldn't they get an opportunity to be trained and at someday become permanent as well? So by cutting means that you are finishing with the program. Thirdly, Mr. Peter David would have had, Honorable, I should say, yes, he's still a member of the parliament. So Honorable Peter David may have had his way of finding out his information from where I sit and my involvement with the NNP. I know NNP is alive, NNP is moving. If he considers that to be life support, that's his consideration. I can't get angry with the man. He may be looking at it from a different vantage than where I am looking at it.
All right, we do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Hi, good morning to you, JT, and good morning to Mr. Bhola.
Good morning to you, sir.
Bhola, I appreciate all that you're saying, and you are being a good opposition spokesperson, and you're raising the right concerns. Some of them I can understand, especially the one in terms of the medication at the hospital. I mean, this is totally unpardonable if we cannot get drugs, because we can afford it and we should be able to have it. But there are a number of things that quickly I'd like to just mention. First of all, we're hearing a lot of, I would say ridiculous statements from the NNP. First of all, we heard of the housing program. And would you go in Parliament and say that the government promised 500 houses a year? Do we have the capacity to build 500 houses a year in Grenada? Public sector and private sector combined? Why would you say that in Parliament? It doesn't make sense. I heard another one about, there's a lot of criticism about the inability to spend the money from the year before. Yet, you're accusing the folks of budgeting less this year. That is only common sense. That's a no-brainer. If you couldn't spend what you budgeted last year, why would you budget more or the same this year? And it comes to the major problem I want to raise: lack of capacity. We have a situation, the policymakers can make all the policies. They can have the fantastic plans. At the end of the day, these things have to be delivered by public servants or people in the private sector who government may subcontract to. Where are these people? 2 years ago, I was told that out of 9 departments in agriculture, only 2 of them are filled in terms of the heads of the departments. Whose fault is that? Can you do that? Can you turn that around in 2 years or 2.5 years? No. So a lot of the inactivity and the things that are not happening is not because of the government having bad policies. There may be some weaknesses somewhere. But we do not have people in Grenada, in the public service, that have been emasculated, it has been decimated, and we just don't have people to do things. So don't turn around afterwards and say, oh, you're not doing things. When you have turned over a public service which is totally bankrupt and decrepit, they just can't deliver. So be patient. And I'm not saying the government is perfect, but you have set up what we have here after 5 terms of poor planning and short-sightedness. That's what I would say. But keep on doing what you're doing. You have to do it. We need opposition. We need opposition voices. But be honest and be fair.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Any response to the caller, Mr. Bhola?
Thank you. Well, I only want to tell the caller he's also a very good defender, because I know the government has putting about 5 new ministries since they came in, meaning more permanent secretaries, more head of departments, AO and SAO and so. So if he's saying it's a capacity problem, then the government is probably not prioritizing as well. They are putting monies into places and spending money on people where they are not having any impact and any effect on implementation and being able to do the right things that will affect or will bring the kind of desired results to people in the right places. So why are you increasing staff, and why? There have been an increase in the public service. There have been more ministries. There have been more people promoted in the last 2 years than any other period in Grenada within the service. So I think this caller and the government must look into where are we increasing, why are we increasing, and what impact does it have? Is Is it improving the delivery, the service delivery to the people? Is it causing us to do more for the people? Or is it just fattening the pockets of our friends and our cronies?
All right, we take our final caller for the morning. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning, and your live caller. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
GT, and good morning to Mr. Bhola.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Bhola, my first point to you, you're a gentleman that I've known for several years, and I admire your entry into politics and your days as a minister of government. My advice to you and your party, because I think you have to recognize now that things have changed. And my advice to you and your party is to sit down and totally analyze what has happened, because I don't think you all have done that. Because if you all have done that, the trajectory that you all are now on would not have been there. Because things have changed. Things are happening. It is different. And unless you respond differently, you would not get anywhere. That would be my typical example is your leader response to the budget in the parliament. We cannot be doing the same thing and expecting the same result. And I want to reiterate, things have changed. And unless the trajectory is so positioned to look at that change, you will not get anywhere. My next point I want to raise to you, Mr. Bhola, is that, we could still consider this government, like you all termed it then in the initial stage, as babies. But one thing you cannot deny, that they are doing exceptional work. When you compare the work that they are doing as opposed to your government when it was there, your party when it was in office, for 20 plus years, they are doing exceptionally well. And yes, there have been some bumps along the way. But come on, you cannot make the comparison. And I think you all have to be fair and honest with yourselves. You in particular, Mr. Bhola, you should know that. Yes, you're in the politics, but you don't have to criticize everything and make everything a big show. And if the government need additional ministries to address new things that are happening, and they believe that a ministry on its own would be best to do that, why you want to follow them and criticize them for that? Eventually it will benefit the people. If that is not happening, then I will concur with you to come and criticize. But before it actually happens, before you start seeing the benefits, you start criticizing it. And I don't think that is fair. You have been in the politics so long, Mr. Bhola, and I think, as I reiterate before, as I go, please try and assess, because I don't think that assessment was done, and try and position yourselves to effectively respond to the change that have taken place. Thank you very much, and have a good morning.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much. And that was all for the caller. So, will I respond to the caller and some closing contributions?
Yeah, I want to thank the caller, but I think the caller is also accusing me of things that I did not do. I did not criticize the government for adding 5 new ministries. I only responded to what a previous caller said. A previous caller said it is the lack of capacity in some instances that is causing the government not to be able to deliver. And I'm saying that we are aware that over 5 new ministries was created, new PSCs, new SAO, and new people being employed. Maybe the government need to examine and see whether these positions that they have put in, these new areas that they have brought on, are delivering the services that they need, or if they have to recalibrate. So to use that to say that I am criticizing, did I say that the government did something wrong? I'm saying you did. So you're putting more people, you're building capacity based on what a previous caller said about the government. So, caller, I appreciate what you said, but sometimes we have to listen and understand why a response was given and what was said in the response.
Mr. Bhola, closing remarks from you as we wrap up today's
I just want to thank you, GT again, thank GBN, and of course those who participated. I thank all those who raised the questions and the concerns, and of course the listening public. I do wish you all a very good day, and of course, like I said before, all is not lost. We are still here, and we are ready to make a difference.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bhola, and best wishes goes out to you for the rest of the day, sir. Have a good one.
Great.
All right. Hey, folks, that's where we take a wrap for this edition of To The Point. Join me again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Government Wednesday here on the program for another edition of To The Point. Folks, have a good one. That's where we say goodbye.